How's it going, everybody? I'm out here right now doing a little prospecting right now, putting in a little bit of the dirty work in order to figure out where some of these fish are. My goal is to actually try to hit some crappies in some Mississippi water backwater. And as you can see right here, this is all river system. And it continues on down that direction here. So I'm gonna work my way down this river system right here. You know, I'm assuming this is all fairly shallow in here behind me. And then going into this direction, it's gonna open up into some bigger water a little bit. And the intention is to kind of get a feel for the land, see what's out there. I did bring my spud bar, so in case something seems a little sketchy, I'm not gonna take any chances. Falling through is not an option for me, so I'm gonna be prepared for it. I didn't bring an auger, I didn't bring a rod, I didn't bring anything. So really today is just kind of take a look at the lay of the land, see what we got out here. And hopefully it looks like we could maybe land on some good crappie fishing out here. Being it is backwater of the Mississippi River, crappies tend to be pretty good in this area, but for sure, saugers, you know, you're gonna run into those, pike, channel cats, whatever it might be. It just depends on how deep the water is. Where I can get into it at. I'm assuming right now where I'm at, it's probably 3-4 feet deep, probably in this little river system right here. But as it works its way out into that direction that I'm going towards, I'm gonna assume that it starts to get a little bit deeper. And if I see steep channel, like river bankments and that's gonna tell me that there's, you know, more, you know, deeper water. Because if you take a look at me right back here, it seems pretty flat right through here. That tells me that odds are, as I progress into the water here, this column of water is going to be fairly shallow. But then you get over here to this side and it looks a little bit steeper, so chances are that corner on this edge right here is going to be the deeper water. But considering as flat as the land is right here, it's probably pretty shallow. So hopefully as I work my way up this way and see what I got going on up here, I should run into something pretty good. So I'm gonna get a better picture of what's going on and I'll check back in. Still doing some walking here, checking everything out. And I can tell you right now that where I entered, it's definitely shallow. You can see that by the obvious. If you look right there, we've got sticks and that sticking right out of the water, out of the ice, I should say, right there. That is definitely a sure sign that we're sitting in shallow water, actually. So I'm gonna keep on moving without even taking into consideration at this spot. But I tell you what, this definitely looks like some pretty badass waters over here if I can get the kayak in here, which should definitely not be a problem. So that'll be a fun little spring outing, so stay tuned for some of that. All right, let's keep on looking. All right, now there's something here that kind of starts to pique my interest about wanting to punch some holes in this spot right here. Take a look at this right here. See that tree? That's a fairly good sized tree. If I went over and measured the diameter of that trunk that's falling in the water, it's probably somewhere right around 18 inches. Now, at the angle that's dropping into the water, and you can see as it passes out, there's branches that come back out. So that tells me that the water right here is probably somewhere right around 4 feet, possibly 5 feet. And the other indication that looks like it could be good is look at that embankment that I'm following right there. There's a shelf right there. Now, if you look back behind me, it's a little more flat right back in there. It's gonna be more shallow right there, but working my way down this channel has brought me to this location right here. Then I'm looking at some steeper shelf line as I continue all the way down this right here. So I can assume right there that as this outside bend curves right here, that the water's been eroding this channel right here. And odds are this side of the river is going to be a little more shallow, but this side's going to have the deeper water. And that's probably a pretty good spot, because not only is it going to be deeper water, but all those branches in the water, it's all structure. That could turn out to be some okay fishing in there. But we won't know until we punch holes, so let's keep on looking. All right, guys, check it out. We're definitely one with nature out here. What do we got here? We got big eagle's nest. And way down here, if you look off into the distance, right there, we're right there. Right there, another eagle's nest. Pretty cool. Can't beat that. Well, as you can see, if you look off in the distance, eagle's nest, pretty cool. And if you look behind me here, there's an eagle's nest. I'll see if I can zoom in on it. See if I can pick it up. Right there, eagle's nest. And then off in the distance, you'll see about right here, another eagle's nest. Right there. Right there. Pretty cool. You gotta get outdoors. It's something to do. It's a lot better than sitting on your butt. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've always found a comfy spot to plant my ass in and maybe crack a cold one, but getting out here is kind of nice. I can definitely feel it's chilly out here. I think it's right around 12 or 15 degrees, but my face is getting tight, my lips ain't moving, and it's definitely cold. So I'm gonna keep on moving, see if I can check out a spot that I'm looking at. It's a huge, huge bay that comes off this backwater system. So I wanna get an idea, see what it looks like, and if it's worth making that big pull. If it is, don't get me wrong, it's a long push, but for what I'm gonna do, I'd probably have to use a Smitty sleigh to get out here. But yeah, let's keep on pushing. Well, check it out. Here's a good reason why you need a spud bar. Not only do I want to try to cross that, I can't. But if I wind up going further down, there might be a spot I can. But you always have to be leery. It may look like clear, hard ice right there, but it looks maybe deceiving. Let's check it out. Right there. That went through pretty fast. A little further. Look at that, one punch. And here it's hard. You never know what you're gonna run into. Hard ice. Right through it. But take a look at that. See if you can tell about anything. That tells me that may be moving. Because look at the height. There is. Look at that shelf line a little bit right in there. But right there. She stops. Yeah, mud. What about 2 feet? Definitely nothing worth checking out in this spot. So I'm gonna make my way up a little bit further into this here. It's a pretty big bay out there. I don't want to get a better idea of it. I know that area sits right around 6 feet, somewhere in there, so let's check it out, but you gotta be safe. Well, this is the area that I wanted to check out. It's a pretty good sized flat out here. It is like 5-6 feet somewhere out here. And I'd like to get out there and do some fishing, but I did pop a hole right here. And yeah, it's only about, that spot right there is only about 2 feet deep, but that's to be expected. It's a shallow basin. Get out in the middle, it's gonna be a lot deeper, but I don't feel like walking out there without picks, and I don't want to do it without having an auger, so I can at least check. And spud my way out there. And it's probably good to have a buddy with me because it'd be the first time that I've been on ice out there in this spot right here. So, yeah, if you get a chance to do it, it'll be fun. Could be some good crappies in there. Never know. If not, I wind up fishing some of the river channels that I've been walking along out here. I know they should probably have something in there. If luck is on my hand, I guess. Yep. A little thin ice to try to cross any of this right here. So yeah, I don't trust it right here. Keep on working my way further down and give it a shot. I don't know how much better it's gonna get. All that clear ice right here is a little bit deceiving. Almost looks like an ice heave, but you can definitely tell there's some moving water through there. From what I can tell, it doesn't seem like it's moving very fast, but water's warm enough that, and it's close enough to the ground line that's staying fairly warm because it's got to move through there. So getting across it couldn't be that fun. I don't feel like going for a swim. Well, I did a little spud barring out here and broke my way through some thin ice right here, and I mean, you can see that all that clear ice it's fairly thin for the most part. There's some shallow areas in here, but here's what I did come across right here. Popped a hole right in this spot right here and get that spud bar in there, and look at that. I got the whole length of that spud bar going in there. So that tells me I got 4 feet deep right here. And for some backwater basin, that's definitely shallow water for the most part. And it does get connected to the Mississippi not too far from here. There's definitely gonna be fish in here, so I'm getting closer to where I wanna be. That water table might change quite a bit here and there, and I may find further I get down this direction, it might get shallower again too. I don't know. So I'll keep checking and see what happens. I'll give you a heads up if I find anything shallower, but if it is deeper, it could be good. It actually could promote some good fishing in here. And yeah, 4 feet, 5 feet. Ain't nothing wrong with that for catching some pike and some crappies and that in there. I don't know. We'll keep on spudding. Well, I spudded my way across this river where I kept breaking through, and I found a spot where I could actually get across. And you just keep checking, find solid ice. Once you find it, just keep carefully working your way across it. It does not mean that it's going to be this way all the time, just because I found this one spot. Ice conditions consistently change. But the goal of getting across this was good, because now, as I cross this lantern here, you can see there's another opening right there. So I'm gonna go over there and check that and see what that looks like. That might actually have something a little bit more going on than what I'm seeing here, because everywhere I poke holes in this channel right here, it's about a foot deep, maybe 2 foot, and that just isn't gonna work for me. Well, I made it across that push right there where you just saw me, and that's a pretty good opening right here. I don't know if you can tell, but it goes down quite a ways, but I am a little uncertain what the water depths might be right here, so I'm gonna probably most likely stick to trying that one large area where I'm aware of that has 5 to 6 feet of water at its deepest point, and go with that. I don't really want to start punching holes in something right here where I'm seeing kind of shallow embankments. It tells me that possibly it could be fairly shallow, and I don't feel like driving my auger in the mud and doling that up. But anyways, on a cool note, I'm another eagle's nest. So that's cool. I love it out here. It's kind of fun. So yeah, do yourself a favor and get out and walk around and prospect, check things out. You never really know what you're going to run into out there. And I've got some really good ideas where I want to do some fishing, and I've kind of narrowed it down to a couple areas I want to do a little ice fishing out here, but for the most part, I've covered quite a bit of area, and I could see myself out here in the kayak. You never know what you're going to run into out here, being it's all backwaters. Might find channel cats, northern, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, crappies, you name it, it's all out here. The luxury of all this right here, being connected to the Mississippi River, almost any species that's in there you're going to find in here too. Especially in the spring when the spawns gets going and water's moving, and when this breaks up, I think I'm going to have to get the kayak in here. So stay tuned for some spring fishing, because I'm going to be out here for sure. Looks like some fun shit. So anyways, thanks a lot for coming along with me. I had a blast doing this trek, doing a little investigation, and I hope you did too. And kind of gives you an idea of what, you know, you might want to do if you want to start looking for some areas to fish that you haven't checked out before. It's kind of cool just to get out and poke around.